morning, everybody. Welcome back to MORFIT Live. Today we are doing just some bodyweight work. Different format though. We are going to start off with a little bit of cardio work just to warm up. And then from there we're going to go into a spine health sort of circuit. So just lots of spine mobility based exercises to encourage a nice healthy spine. From there we're going to go into more of a stabilization or balance based circuit, which is going to be a lot of single leg work. So if you know your balance is not very great, then you might want to find yourself a dowel, broomstick, something that you can hold on to for some of these movements, because a lot of it is going to be single leg work. And then from there, if we have time, we're going to break out the foam roller and just do some foam rolling. So more of taking care of the tissue today instead of challenging the tissue and trying to either get stronger or try to improve our cardiovascular fitness, which is a lot of what our classes are focused on. So a little bit more myofascial health, stability, and just nice relaxation-based pattern. Okay, so let's start off with our cardio here, guys. The cardio is not going to be high intensity either. We're just going to get the heart rate going, get the blood flow going. So let's start with some jumping jacks here. And we're not going rep based. You'll notice the timer's not on. Nothing's time based either. We're just going to kind of move on when we feel we're ready to move on. So you can follow along, listen to the audio cues, and you'll know when to switch up. All right, from here we're going to go into skiers, which is another variation of jumping jacks, but in the sagittal plane instead of out to the side. Don't worry if your arms are doing opposite to the legs or if they're going in sync with the legs. Doesn't really matter. And then seal jacks, arms going out to the side in the transverse plane as the legs move in and out. All right, hopefully you have a little bit of space to move laterally. So you're gonna do 2 shuffle steps, jump up, 2 shuffle steps over, and jump up. If you don't have room for 2 shuffle steps, just do a single step, up, single step, and up. Work with whatever you have for space. Last one here. Good. Okay, from here we're going to go into a squat. Reverse lunge with the left leg. Reverse lunge with the right leg. And then repeat. Squat. Reverse lunge left. Reverse lunge right. Repeating that pattern. Go through 2 more of those. Chest is up high. Knees are going out on the squat. And everything's in a nice straight line on the lunges. Okay, bring your feet together. Hands go down to the floor, keeping the knees straight. Going out to a hand walk here. So I'm in a plank position. From here I'm going to lower myself to the floor. Press the chest up. And now bring the hips up into the air to downward dog. So a fairly traditional yoga pattern. Walk the hands back to the feet. We're going to stand up and repeat that. Hands down, walk the hands out. Lower the body to the floor. Press up. And hips go up to downward dog. Trying to get the heels towards the floor on the downward dog. And walk the hands back to standing position. We got 2 more. Lower down, press up, and downward dog. Walk the hands in. Last one. Walk it out. And up. Keep the glutes engaged here on this upward dog position. Downward dog. And walk. The hands up. All right, we're just gonna go through that jack, the jumping jack pattern again. And then we're gonna move on to the spine health section of the workout. From our jumping jacks, we're going to the skiers. And from our skiers, we're heading into our seal jacks. Finish off with our shuffle jump.
Stop the walls from
a few more. And last one. All right. Good, hopefully that gets the heart rate going. Okay, so we're gonna go through the spine section. We're gonna be taking our time on a lot of this stuff, taking adequate rest in between. We're gonna go through 2 to 3 cycles before we go into the balance work. So hopefully you guys can see me fairly well there in the camera. Come on down to a kneeling position. We're gonna start with a cat-cow. So, again, a movement you're probably fairly familiar with. We're on all fours, knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders. We're gonna start by pulling the belly button up to the ceiling, tucking the tailbone in, tucking the chin in. We're trying to get as much movement through the spine from the pelvis all the way up to the neck. Now we're going to do the opposite movement. So that was spine flexion. Now we're going to go into spine extension. Dropping the belly button down to the floor. We're sticking our butt up to the ceiling and reaching the chin up as well. Nice, full, solid breaths through everything that we do in this workout. All right, back up to the first flexion-based position. See if we can get a little more range of motion out of the spine as we come back to the movement. And then we're going to go back to extension. All right, from here we're just going to sit our hips back. So we're sitting down on our ankles. That's going to lock the pelvis and lumbar spine in position. Our left hand's going to stay on the floor. We're going to take the right hand and bring it around the back of our neck. From here, we're going to just twist our right elbow up to the ceiling, creating a spinal rotation. If you feel you can go a little more aggressive with it, you can place your forearm on the floor and then go into the twist. We're going to hold the top position for about 3 seconds and then release. Make sure you're breathing throughout and then head back up again. Depending how long your hold is, we might get through 3, 5, 7 of these. We'll just switch together at the same time. All right, switch sides. So either right hand on the floor or right forearm on the floor. Left hand goes to the back of the neck. And now we're rotating the opposite way. You may find one side gets more mobility than the other. That is very common. I should have said, if any of these movements, especially the spinal-based movements, cause pain, please stop the movement. Do not work through pain on any of this. You might feel some stretching or a little bit of tightness, so maybe very moderate discomfort. but definitely not pain or neurological symptomology like burning, numbness, and all that. Let's try not to work through that today. All right, from the T-spine rotation, we're just going to lower ourselves to the floor, lying on our left side, keeping the legs at 990, both arms straight out in front. We're going to continue working on spine rotation, but we're going to get a little bit more passive with it, which is going to allow us to get maybe a bit more rotation. So I'm going to draw a nice big circle with my right arm. As the arm comes behind me, I'm letting the torso twist, allowing me to get as large of a circle as I can. When the arm comes back to the front, I'm going to roll my torso forward again and really reach in front. So I'm drawing as big of a circle as I can with my arm. I'm staying fairly relaxed through the torso and the arm, so I'm not rigid as I go through these circles. When you get back to the front, we're going to switch directions. Same side, just change your circle direction. So instead of clockwise, we're now counterclockwise. We're really taking our time on these movements. We're not rushing anything today. You should feel nice and relaxed at the end of this workout. Okay, from here, we're just going to flip to the other side. I'm going to turn around just so I can face you guys. Okay, 90-90, arms together, and start the circle on the other arm. All the way around. Can you get your circle any bigger? Reach, reach, reach. See if you can get your left shoulder to the floor as the arm comes back. I forgot to mention this. To stay strict on this movement, we want to keep our knees together. So if your knees come up, then you're not going to get the spine rotation that we want. The floor is going to limit the rotation you can actually work through. But if you keep your pelvis rolled forward, your knees together, then you'll probably find you get much more of a stretch. I apologize for not mentioning that on the first side. We might go through this whole series one more time. When you get back to the front, change direction. Here. This might be the most boring video to watch if you're not participating. Okay. From here, guys, we're going to go into some dynamic spine extension. So if you have any back problems, then this may not be one that you want to partake in. I'm going to show you a modification or an alternative that you can do while we're going through our bridges. But again, just be cautious with any kind of chronic injuries in the lumbar spine or back. You also need a fair amount of shoulder mobility and strength to go through this, so please use your judgment. But the alternative is going to be a spine extension from the floor. So I'm going to drive my hips up. Now, normally when we do our bridges from here, or the hip drive, we're keeping the spine neutral. And you can do that today again and just work on strengthening the posterior chain, glutes and hamstrings. If you want to get some of the actual dynamic spine movement, then you can think of driving your belly up to the ceiling a little bit more, which creates an extension pattern into the spine. But don't go so hard that you feel pressure or pain in the low back. All right, if you want to try the low bridge with me, then what you're going to do is get your hands. You're going to place them palms on the floor just above the shoulders. And then you're going to push your body or slide your body down the floor until you're in this position. So you can see my heels are up, my knees are way out in front of my feet, and my knees are fully flexed, still lying on the floor. From here, I'm going to reposition my hands back to that palms down, just above the shoulder position. And then I'm going to push through my hands, push through my feet, and drive my hips up. Let my head go back. And this is a low bridge. Make sure you tuck your chin back in before you let yourself back down to your back. I want you to hold it a maximum of 5 seconds the first time you do it, just to make sure you get in and out comfortably. Once you're back on the floor, you can let the legs fully extend. Let the arms come down, just take a minute, and then repeat again. So, bring the heels back in, replace the palms on the floor. We're gonna slide down towards the heels. Now the heels are up. Hopefully I'm still in the camera here. I'm gonna replace the palms on the floor and drive it up. Let the head go back. You're gonna feel tension in your quads and in your shoulders and your wrists and maybe down along the spine. So it's a fairly demanding movement if you're not used to that. When you lower yourself down, reset the arms, reset the legs, and we're gonna go through just 2 more of those. I'm gonna scoot back here to stay in view. All right, heels in, palms down, slide it forward, replace the palms, and drive. Glutes are engaged, abs are engaged, everything is firing here. Once you're used to it, you can hold it up to 10 seconds. Or once you feel you're getting tired, then just lower it down. Reset the legs, reset the arms. Reestablish the nice full breath coming into the lungs. And work on your belly breathing here as well, filling the belly with air and then releasing. And we got 1 more low bridge to go. All right. Bring the feet flat by the butt. Palms on the floor. Slide it down. Replace the hands and low bridge. Keep pushing up. Keep breathing. And lower down when you're ready. All right. How did that feel? Hopefully that felt all right for you guys. Okay. I think we're just going to leave that at 1 cycle through. I went a little bit slower than I initially planned. That's fine. I was going to progress the low bridge to a high bridge. We'll leave that for another video, another day. So let's go into our balance section next. Which is going to be a series of movements. I think we have about 6 movements that we're going to do on one side, and then we'll progress to the second side. Again, if you have a dowel handy, then there's a couple movements that you'll probably want to use that. Initially, you can probably just have it out on the floor, and I'll let you know when to grab it, or you can grab it when you feel you need it. I guess it's more like 8 movements. Okay, so I'm going to start with my right leg forward and my left leg back in the lunge, and I'll cue sides based on that. So the first movement is a triple lunge. It's 3 movement patterns, all based on lunges. If you want to challenge yourself right from the start with balance, then I want you to do all 3 of these lunge-based patterns with your feet in a straight line. So you could use like a mark on the floor, or just visually take a look, are my feet perfectly in line? And if you really want to challenge yourself, you could find like a thin piece of wood or something, like maybe a 2x4 that you could stand on, just to challenge, almost like a balance beam. But most of us don't have that handy, so let's just go on the floor. All right, my right leg's in the front. My right and left leg or feet are in a straight line. I'm going to go down into a lunge pattern. I'm going to lift my left arm up and reach over. So I'm leaning to my right with the left arm up, my right leg's in the front. I'm trying to find 90 degrees at both legs. I don't have my back knee on the floor, so we are working the quads here. From here, take that left hand from the top, bring it to the outside of the right knee, pull on the knee, which brings you into a twist pattern. So we got some more dynamic spine movement here. Face forward again. We're now going to hinge over, straightening both knees. Try to bring both heels to the floor. And you're holding on to your right ankle with both hands. If that's too tough, place your hands on the floor for more balance. Otherwise, just grab a hold of the ankle with both hands. From here, we're going to go into an airplane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick up my back leg. And I'm in this scale position. I'm going to show this from the side because there's a couple things we need to talk about. So from here, I'm going to take my left hip and drive it up into the ceiling. And then I'm going to take my left hip and I'm going to drop it down to the floor. You can see my balance is all over the map too. It's a very tough movement. But we're going to do that with the pelvis. This would be a good time for your dowel if you have it handy. So in that scale position, I'm going to drive my hips up and then drive the left hip down. And just do that a few times. Now the planted leg, this knee you're going to see on me is going to stay bent because I don't have super stretchy hamstrings, which would allow me to keep my knee straighter. So the more flexible you are in the hamstring, the straighter your knee can be. But I'm trying to keep my low back neutral, and if I straighten my knee, then my low back's going to round. I want to avoid that. So I'm going to keep my knee slightly bent and keep my low back neutral. Okay, so we've done our airplane. From the airplane, I'm just going to stand up, lifting my left knee up to my chest. I'll face you guys again here. So this is a stork stand. I'm really driving the knee up as high as I can, and I'm hiking my left hip up to the ceiling. And that's going to help me activate my glute medius on my right side. From the stork, I'm going to turn into Bruce Lee, and I'm going to kick my left leg out to the side. So it's a side kick here. My torso is leaning away from the kicking leg. I'm just going to hold that. You're going to feel the glute medius on the left side firing now to keep the leg up. All right, from here we're going to transition into both hands on the floor. I'm keeping my left leg up in the air. There's a downward dog position on my right leg, but my left leg is kicking up to the ceiling. Now from here, I'm going to transition into a squat on my right leg, kicking my left leg through. If I need to have my left foot on the floor to do that, that's fine. You can try that transition without letting the left foot touch the floor at any point. Now from here, my hands can stay on the floor. If I can go hands up. If I need to, I can pull on my left leg with my left hand. You might get a lot of cramping in your left quad on that. Just drop the leg down, relax it. You can keep your heel on the floor the whole time if you want. Whatever you need to do for where you're at with this movement. Bring the left foot in. That's the whole series. So now we're going to go off to our other side. So stand up. Left leg in front. Right leg at the back. We're going to that triple lunge pattern. So down into the lunge. Right arm's going to reach up and over. That reach over to the side gives me a bit of a stretch through my fascial line on this right side, and a bit better of a hip flexor stretch as well. Take the right hand, pull on the outside of the left knee, twisting the torso. Face the front, both heels to the floor, straighten out both knees, grabbing the ankle of the front foot. Okay, we're going to go into the airplane shortly, so if you need your dowel, grab your dowel. And kick up off of the back foot into a scale. When I'm ready, I'm going to add the right side hip going up to the ceiling. And then I'm dropping it down to the floor. Do a few reps of those. I haven't done these in probably about a year or so. So I'm a little wobbly. All right, coming up, bring the right knee up to a stork. And remember, we're hiking the right hip up to the ceiling in this position. Okay, side kick. Use your dowel here if you need to. I feel like an octopus here. Arms are going everywhere. All right, transition the hands to the floor. Right leg is up in the air. Downward dog kick. Heel up, and we're going to transition to that pistol squat. Back to the squat. All right, I just want you to bring both knees forward to the floor. Kick your toes out behind you. We're going to do a sesa stretch here, leaning back. Elbows to the floor if you can get there. If not, just stay on your hands. Squeeze your glutes, push your pelvis forward. And I'll put a nice little stretch in the quads. The quads got quite a bit of work in that series. Between the lunges, that pistol squat. All right. Do a quick break, guys. If you need water, get some water or anything else you might need. And we're going to go through that series one more time. One more time per side. And then we'll see how much time we got left. How's the audio here, if you guys are watching? The audio has been my kryptonite of these videos lately. Hopefully I found a good balance between the music and the quality of the microphone has been a big issue. So let me know how that's coming through. Okay, guys, let's get back into it. So we're gonna do right side forward, left leg back. Back to the triple lunge. Come on down to the lunge position. Left arm's coming up and over. Try to stay low in the lunge without touching the knee. Grab the outside of the knee with the left hand, pull and twist. Face the front, grab the ankle, both heels down, straightening out both knees. And you can find your dowel or your broomstick if you need. We're going back to that airplane. So kick the back leg up. And go through left side hiked and left side dropped. Woo-hoo. Think I need to do more yoga. Okay, standing up, left leg up into that stork stand. I like balance work. You might feel the bottoms of your feet getting sore because all the little muscles, the intrinsic muscles in the foot have to work really hard to re-stabilize you as you're losing your balance. Okay, side kick. Trying to get your leg parallel to the floor. And as the stabilizer muscles get tired, it gets harder and harder to keep your balance because they don't respond as quick or as effectively. Okay, both hands on the floor. Downward dog kick. Feeling the stretch down the back of the right leg. And transition to the pistol squat. See how straight you can get the left knee here. All right, left foot in. We're gonna head to the other side. Just check what you guys said about the volume there. Perfect, audio's good. Okay, thanks guys. Let's head to the other side. Left leg in the front, right leg at the back. Let's drop down to the first position of the triple lunge. Right arm's coming up and over. Take the right hand, grab the outside of the left knee. Pull and twist. Keeping your balance as best you can. Coming forward, grab the ankle with both hands. Heels down, knees straight. And we're transitioning now to the airplane. Kick the back leg up. And see how much movement you can get at the hip. Without falling over every 2 seconds like me. That's actually getting better. Okay, stand up. Right knee's coming up. Stork stand. Keep the hip up. My right foot is still sore from when it was doing its work on the first side. Hopefully yours are doing fine. Let's kick out to the side. Side kick. Whoa. Overcompensating a lot now that I'm tired. All right, bring the hands to the floor. Downward dog kick. We're almost through the series.
Once you get in the groove, move your feet.
And transition to the pistol squat. Of course, you can always have your hands back here. Find a position that works for you. All right. Whew. Come on up. All right. Good work, guys. It's a lot of work on your stabilizers, the muscles in your feet. All right, where are we at? Okay. I'm going to leave the foam rolling to you guys if you wanted to foam roll. Because that's going to be at least 10-15 minutes of explanation and working through and trying to keep these to that 40-45 minute zone. So we'll tackle foam rolling another day. Maybe Friday mornings will start being more of a balance and mobility type of workout. We'll see. Let me know what you guys thought of that, if you enjoyed it, or if you were hoping for something a little bit more high intensity. Okay guys, I'm going to leave you there. Thanks so much. I will see you again for the next workout.